Greetings, Twilight Struggle fans, and welcome to our Game of the Week here on Action Round Zero. I'm Justin Abramson. We'll get to Peter Frantz momentarily. And today we've got a doozy for you, as we will be showing you a Champions League round of 16 game between Jarib Flores of Spain and Ryan Pindulic of the Garden State. These two players are household names and really need no introduction. Both have spent time at number one overall in ITSR, both have won major championships, and both are among the very best in the world at the game we all love. What might need a little introduction is the unusual best of two format, which is used only in Champions League. Rather than a best of one or a best of three, the players play two games, one with each side. If a player wins both, he obviously advances. If the players split the two games, then the player that won more quickly advances. If both games go to final, the player who won by more VPs advances. So, while both players, of course, want to win, the losing player has every incentive to drag out the game as long as possible, while the leading player has every incentive to go for the kill and try and wrap things up quickly. Our viewers should keep that in mind as they watch this one unfold, and we'll try to do the same. So, wherever you are in the world, and whatever time it is for you, especially if it's 10 p.m. like it is for Peter, come on along for the ride as these two titans of the game go head-to-head here on Action Round Zero, Twilight Struggle's biggest stage. Now, Peter, I've been looking forward to this one all week. I know you have as well, and now we finally get to watch it. We're watching from Jarib's side. He's the USSR. So what do you think of this opening hand?
I don't mind it, and I think I would be tempted to headline Vietnam Revolts and get that quick Asia Dom, but I don't know. Purge is also fascinating. We don't have defectors, but yeah, there's some options here.
For me, this is a pretty clear Vietnam headline score Asia. Hope you don't get defected. Yep, and that's what we will see. Okay, Ryan headlines Olympics, wins it, and Jarib scores Asia right away, which makes sense. Now, this is a pretty good hand. You got CNS, which has to be an event. 5-year plan and containment, which has to be played late. You've got two one-ops, which are probably going to be used with the Vietnam bonus in Southeast Asia, even though Asia scored. But this is a little bit tricky. Like, because you got to get your mill ops, you got to get presence in the Middle East, so you got to spread out of Vietnam. You got a lot to do here.
Yeah, definitely. And kind of like holding 5-year plan if things go awry in Europe or Middle East, but we might not be able to with the low ops.
Yeah, so you don't want to give an early containment, I don't think, because what I was initially thinking is, well, you could 5-year plan Truman on AR6 to pick up 2 extra ops, but if you do that, you have to give containment AR5. Okay, yeah, so he's just Ryan goes for the coup in Vietnam, even though Asia is scored. And yeah, it's a great use of a one-op.
Oh, that's bad miss. Very bad miss.
Brutal one early. Although Jarib did get his 5 VPs out of Asia, he's got to be not too pleased to see that roll.
That's the downside of just playing Asia, scoring AR1 instead of like getting to Laos and Thailand first. But got some points out of it anyway.
Yep, and Ryan decides to move right into Pakistan. Even with Asia scored, he decides he's going to get out of Iran right away, put 2 ops in Pakistan. I like that play. What about you, Peter?
Yeah, I think it's a good play. It makes sense, just to make some progress inward on Asia, and he also gets to Iraq as well, so spreading out quickly.
So, okay, and then Jarib understandably picks up his 2 VPs going to space. This should go into India and Lebanon. It sure does. And Jarib doesn't like to coup, but I think a coup of Lebanon makes sense. And a big roll there.
Except for that bad one it doesn't entirely make up for it, but it's helpful.
Yeah, and that you probably won't see a coup back here. And that should take care of our presence in the Middle East situation. Truman is now gone, so a poke or even a jam of West Germany is also possible. With Asia scored, Ryan certainly not going to step into Burma or Malaysia, I would think.
As Jarib, we want to keep the DEFCON. Yeah. We want to keep DEFCON high. I mean, because we don't have any access cards, and we don't want Ryan to get bold in Southeast Asia. So, that's great. Jam it. I'm all for it. Hope he doesn't have Truman. We didn't see Truman, did we?
No, we did see Truman. That's the thing. Normally we
did see it.
Jarib cooed Vietnam with Truman. And so normally you just see a poke of West Germany.
Right.
But Jarib decides to just jam it with Truman gone. And I like that play.
Yeah.
Oh, another coup. So uncharacteristic 3 coups from Harib. 3 coups, a scoring, a CNS event, and just 1 placement of ops. Not what Harib likes to do, and he misses badly on that one.
And DEFCON's still at 4.
DEFCON's still at 4, so Ryan, but it's a good play because Ryan wants to. Ryan needs to reestablish presence in the Middle East. Ryan also wants to
Yep,
retake West Germany, and if he's doing that, he's not getting any more mill up. So Harib's picking up a couple of VPs.
exactly. Yeah, I like it.
So a big 4 op play. Yeah, certainly 2 West Germany, certainly 1 France, and 1 Iran makes perfect sense. So Ryan makes good use of the containment op, and we move on to turn 2. So
And we held 5-year plan too, which I was a fan of, and that's going to help us with Europe if it comes out here, and it does.
surely does. So I would say turn 1, not a very good turn for Harib, even though he picked up 6 VPs. He's going to be behind in Asia, going to be behind in the Middle East as well. But as you said, he picks up Europe for a 5-year plan. Duck is pretty harmless here, and in fact, I would say is very helpful with D-stall in hand. Marshall can go safely to space. Only sad thing is you can't hold defectors. You know how I'm a big defectors holder. What do you think of this hand, Peter?
I like it, and I think I might destall right away and do the duck and cover coup so we can get safely back into Thailand here. It would present some risk elsewhere, but could be a really good play, especially if we coup Iran and happen to get in. Then we might have a presenceless Dom, which prevents Ryan from coupping back.
Yeah, that's true. So yeah, D-stall makes sense. If you're not going to go D-stall, it's got to be Suez, but you're not really interested in attacking Europe. I guess getting the one out of Israel is good. But yeah, I don't mind the D-stall. So what are you going to do? You're going to D-stall into Laos? Directly into Thailand? So would you go Laos or Thailand to, and then Venezuela, Chile, what, Angola or something? I don't know. What do you do? I hope we find out.
Yeah, I think. Yeah, I think this is the right play. Oh, and can't obviously the Dom doesn't matter as much now, but it'll come back in a turn or two. Oh, interesting. Goes to Panama instead of Venezuela.
So it goes directly into Thailand. And now you're going to take a duck coup.
I wonder if he would have gone Venezuela if Ryan hadn't headlined Middle East, because now it gives Ryan access if he gets that coup off in
Yeah.
Venezuela.
Yeah, you'd be trading away Angola. But yeah, if he had gone to Venezuela, you'd certainly see a coup there. So, okay, he goes 1 Panama. Do you like the 1 Panama, or would you have gone somewhere else? Maybe Libya. Panama seems a little weird.
I don't think Libya's so important because I don't know. I like eventing Suez here anyways, and I think we'll probably get to Egypt and Libya before Ryan in that
Yeah.
case. But I mean, again, I think it's just the access issue that Harib is thinking about. It'd be my guess anyway.
Yeah, that makes sense as well. Now, Peter, what do you think of the decision to take the 3 out of Lebanon? A Lebanon coup here doesn't seem that nutty to me. Because if you
Yeah, it's
lower
true.
DEFCON to 2, you're giving up Angola and Zaire. Coupping Lebanon gets you Milops, protects you from Suez. But then again, obviously, leaving the 1 in Czech and Yugoslavia protects you, means Dom is stopped if you get Warsaw. What do you think?
Yeah, no, I would have definitely taken a check there. I think you could get access to. You still have access to Greece if you wanted to keep Yugoslavia. That was a really interesting play by Ryan too, not to coup, which means Harib can't coup either. I like it.
Yeah, and I don't like. Yeah, this is Exhibit 50 on why I don't like that Thailand South Africa play. Because you often can just see you go Angola and then you poke something else or cause some other kind of problem, and so now Harib has lost Angola and Zaire.
Mm-hmm.
That's fair to
Yeah.
say, and he could have just gone into He could have just gone into Angola, and then we would have seen a coup there. And so Ryan takes his mill ops to lock in Angola. Tries to get a big number in Chile. Would have needed a 6.
Yeah, interesting. He didn't event Suez either. I guess that wasn't super pressing. I just like the idea of making sure we get Egypt before Ryan does.
I liked it too, yeah, but I guess he didn't want to event Korean War. And South Korea could be hugely critical here, the way Asia's shaping
Yeah.
up. I think you're gonna probably use it next to put 2 into South Korea. I don't know. You might give Marshall here, but I think I'd rather space it. I don't know. De Gaulle's coming. I don't know. What do
Yeah.
you think? I don't know. I think I would like to give Korean War, put the 2 in South Korea, space Marshall, and then use my 5-year plan ops. 1 Thailand, maybe 1 Lao, 1 somewhere else. What do you think?
Yeah, I'm on the fence with Marshall. I definitely like putting Korean War into Korea here. The space, yeah. Yeah, I'm not sure. I mean, if we'd taken him out of I know I'm harping on this a bit, but if we'd taken him out of Suez or out of Israel, I probably would have put one there with Marshall. But we don't have a ton of places to go at the moment. Um, but we don't want to give him more ground in Europe. I think that's pretty certain. Yeah, now he gets to Egypt first. Okay, Harry goes straight for the space, and that's fine.
Okay, Ryan overprotects Pakistan. We just saw Ryan coup Chile with the war, so he knows how he doesn't have the war. Decides to overprotect Pakistan so it doesn't get flipped. Harib probably just interested in shoring up Thailand, taking South Korea. Yeah, that's easy. And 1 into
Okay.
Egypt from Ryan suggests that Ryan also has Nasser in his hand. He's going to have to give it here if he does, or just that he's very confident Harib does not have Nasser.
Yeah.
But I think if Harib had Nasser, he would have played it by now.
Oh yeah.
We obviously know
I
Harib
agree.
does not have Nasser, but Ryan does not know. Ryan might not know that. So Ryan needs to get to Zaire. He needs to get a second in Libya. And yeah, and there it
There
is.
it is.
Okay, so he's going to give up the 1 in Egypt. Usually I like to spend the extra 1 in Egypt to make Egypt 1-2. But Ryan probably, I mean, he just UN'd blockade, gave Nasser like that. He probably doesn't have the ops to spare.
Yeah, he's got a rough hand, it looks like. Can't hold anything.
He UN'd blockade, so that means he doesn't have Sock Govs or De Gaulle, because I certainly would have seen that blockaded instead, I would think. Um,
Yeah.
but yeah, Ryan's got to get. Okay, he had a big 4-up. Boy, I'm a little surprised that Ryan couldn't find the 1 extra. Yeah, so what does that 1 in South Africa do for you right now? I would have much rather seen that 1 go into Egypt.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
then Egypt is 1-2. You don't have, and you force either Harib to spend the extra op in Egypt, which never feels good to get the Middle East Dom, or it's just sitting there. Maybe you get away with the Middle East headline.
Exactly. Yeah.
Now, folks, I want to make
Yeah,
clear
no.
on Peter's behalf as well as my own. These are 2 of the very best players in the world. They've both great players. So we may critique their moves, but we know these guys are great at what they do. But just saying, oh, that's interesting, or yep, that makes sense after every move gets boring real fast, I find.
Yeah, as I told Justin before the stream, as I told you, this is going to be a lot of learning from me. I don't have you know, the experience and the solid ITSR that these guys do to make the critiques that many would expect. But interesting though that he headlined CIA there. I might have kept it around, but I don't know what's in his hand.
Yeah, headline CIA and cooed Egypt.
Yeah.
And yeah, so decide instead of Iran, went for Egypt. I guess it makes sense. You roll a 5 in Iran, it doesn't do much.
Yeah.
But you roll a 5 in Egypt, it knocks him out. So I guess the Egypt coup makes sense.
Yeah, cuts access there. But I would normally I'd like to keep it around, especially when there's no African one stab to coup. But maybe he has Middle East here.
Yep. And Harib, you got Harib. Sorry, Peter, you got your Suez event. Uh, just after he'd gotten out of there and gotten to Libya. And interestingly, doesn't take the one out of Israel, takes two out of UK. I personally like taking the one out of Israel, but um, okay, he's gonna go two out of the UK, and Harib, no surprise, with in conjunction with his decision to leave one each in Czech and Yugoslavia, goes with the greedy Warsaw.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, not something I tend to do, but it's going to take Ryan a little bit of effort to regain Dom in Europe now.
Yep. So now Ryan's gonna have to spend four ops. Now Harib had opportunities to dump Europe. He could have dumped Europe AR1. No, and Ryan knows his hand because of CIA. So what am I saying? Uh, C5 event. So he was
Interesting.
really worried that Ryan had Asia, I guess, after filling Japan like that.
How do you feel about a De Gaulle event here? If nothing else, just get access to Algeria.
Yeah, that was Harib's initial instinct, and I liked it. Oh, interesting. Take South Africa. Okay, Harib goes to space. Yeah, I like the De Gaulle event. Remember, Truman's gone, and even if it weren't, De Gaulle is a good play. Yeah, trigger De Gaulle. Force Ryan to spend a three in France, and then we can get Algeria, presumably, but that's presumably with Olympics. And then Fidel here on turn three, obviously a must event. So we're probably holding 5-year plan into the mid-war, which not great. Okay, big four op. This might be two. I wonder if it's two France. Okay, three France, one Algeria. I was wondering if we'd see two and two.
Interesting. Yeah, 5-year plan saved our butt in the early war in turn 2, I guess it was. So maybe Harib's hoping for it to come through again.
Yeah, and well, Harib could have played Olympic and gotten at least one into Algeria there, but he
Yeah.
decided not to. Presumably for this reason, that he wanted to get rid of 5-year. Okay, he goes to Libya. Does not. I don't understand that. I would have much rather seen one Libya if we were going to do that and get one into Chile, so South America's VOA proof.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Because right now VOA is unbelievably devastating. And Ryan gonna respect that. Go Jordan.
And it saved him too. He rolled a 4.
Yeah. Rolled a four on the AI war. Okay. So here we go, turn four. This seems is this a good Brezhnev hand? It seems like a decent Brezhnev hand. Also worth a Europe could be worth headlining here as well.
Lib Theo also pretty solid.
Yeah, Libstheo very strong. Okay, so what's
Yeah,
Brezhnev going to
Brezhnev
get
is
us? Assuming we trigger the Pope, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, maybe 6 ops if we play cultural for the ops, which I suspect we will. And there goes Junta. What would be your Junta hero? Just Junta into Venezuela, coup Argentina, I assume?
I think that would be my play, yeah. Try to get the top half and a miss on the roll. Good for Harib. He also has Allende, so the not filling Cuba was would have still been okay if the VOA had come out.
Yep. Okay, so now Harib with he's powered up with Brezhnev. So certainly, so what you're gonna want to take Libya, I assume, right?
um, Interesting. That's not what I would have expected there. I think he's just holding out for Muslim in Libya. Just make that a threat hanging over Ryan. I was thinking that maybe dump Europe here, or maybe go with Lib Theo first, but he decides to flip South Africa or Angola and press on towards Brazil. So much more aggressive than I would have been.
Harib's an aggressive player. He likes to be aggressive without rolling dice. So, okay, Uruguay makes sense. Force him to go into Brazil and now Zaire. But now you got realign set up on Angola. So I think you've got to go one Angola to Botswana here, right?
Yep, yep, that makes perfect sense.
Okay, so a good play there by Harib.
Milops
Yep. Sorry, go ahead.
normally would be an issue here, but we do have how I learned. I don't suspect he'll jack up DEFCON, just keep it at 2 or something
That makes
if he
sense.
ends up
Yeah.
using it.
So Harib does well with the double threat. Flips over Angola, threatens Zaire, and threatens Brazil at the same time. So a good play by Harib. My play probably would have been less imaginative than that. And as you said, Harib probably content to leave Libya at 2-2.
Ryan takes it. He still is losing domination there. Oh, okay. Marshall Plan. Now we're going to definitely have to drop Europe right away.
Yeah, I like that play from Ryan. I'll admit sometimes the mid-war Marshall is very strong, and I think that's one of those cases. But it does not work very well if uh, if your opponent has Europe scoring in hand. So Harib quickly dumps it for just 1. So
How many
neither.
ops are we getting out of this Brezhnev?
So far we've gotten 1 out of culture. We've got 1, 2. We've gotten 2 ops so far. Certainly. So what are we gonna do? Are we gonna space Sadat?
Oh, late on that Lib Theo.
Yeah. Are we gonna space Sadat, or are we gonna trigger it and just put the 2 right back in?
Then we lose Dom in that case. I think I like spacing it here.
Certainly, if Middle East gets scored here by Ryan, you trigger it. I think.
Yeah, for sure. If he drops it.
A UN of Quagmire, that's going to fix Panama. Yep. Yeah, and Harib, as you said, a little late on the trigger for Lib Theo. It looks like it's going to cost him Mexico. Would you take Mexico here and hope he misses on the rolls? I don't.
Well, we also do have a mill or a coup target now.
Yep.
I think I would let him just take it, and then we coup
Oh.
Guatemala. Oh, that could be bad. Oh, Ryan has rolled some
JR.
very
Yeah.
significant ones in this game.
Yep. JR, hope you were watching there. That would have been a huge roll on Thailand with both Southeast Asia and regular old Asia unscored. Yeah, now you take your 2 up coup on Guatemala. That'll force Ryan to immediately take Mexico. And then we use AR7, presumably. How I learned we'll fill up Chile and something else. Maybe what? A poke of something? Uruguay makes sense. I don't know what Zimbabwe does for us. I guess it means I don't know what Zimbabwe does for us, but okay.
Well, it's gone now.
Yep. And here we are. Okay, this hand is a little uncomfortable. A lot of blue stuff in here. Is this a self-trap hand, Peter?
It could be. I'm also looking at China card and Nixon trying to get a South America domination.
Yeah, now to me...
We can't space 2 ops, so
yeah.
The trap might be necessary.
Sorry, that's what I was trying to interrupt you to say, and then you pointed it right out, so sorry about that. Yes, Harib can no longer space 2 ops, so CRGs on this board is very painful. Nixon may be a little bit annoying. NORAD is always some level of annoying, but Canada's already at oh boy.
That changes things.
Yeah.
Now we could still space Ask Not and NORAD, but I think this guarantees that we're playing China.
I
guess we headline Korean War?
We cannot space Ask Not and NORAD. We can put them in the trap, but we can't space them.
Yes, sorry. That's what I meant, yes.
Yeah, we're dumping the score immediately.
That's fine. That's fine. Can't get greedy with this. Now I think we just coup Zaire, right, with China?
Yeah, I guess you need to get that coup in. I think you're still self-trapping. Oh, I don't know. I guess NORAD. I really wouldn't want to give NORAD. Quagmire's gone. Canada's at 3. Good chance it's active for the rest of the game. This is how NORAD. Yeah, I was wondering if he might do this. This seems risky. Oh.
Ooh. Yeah, that's gonna hurt.
Yeah, so that's gonna be painful, but at least Ryan is probably going to have to Ryan's going to want to take Zaire. Ryan's going to take Zaire. He's also certainly going to go into Saharan here so he can lock up Nigeria as well.
Depending on what cards, he could also poke North Korea here and try to get an Asia Dom off.
That's true.
Or a
5
flip.
countries to 4 in Asia. So a poke of North Korea and a take of Philippines with a Garden Variety 3-op would do that. 4 ops, take Zaire, poke North Korea, take Philippines would be downright nasty.
Yeah.
Could also see a poke of Egypt to get out of Middle East.
Yep. Ryan carefully contemplating his options.
Yeah, but if you don't self trap, you're what are you doing? You're playing China, so you're holding 2, and you're holding the trap and presumably CRGs and giving all the rest of this stuff purged, including China. That's really nasty. So I think I like the decision by Jarib to self trap.
I think I like the decision too, though my original instinct to coup with China would have gotten us Zaire. I just want to point that out.
Yeah, that is
Force
true.
Ryan to poke there as well if he wanted to take it.
We have 2 very good cards to discard to that with 2 very puppets. Okay, and now
And get out with Kennedy.
Gets out with Kennedy, so he holds on to NORAD. Okay, and yeah, going to try the realigns, and he hits.
Ugh, okay.
Jarib in big trouble now in Central America. Not dominated in Europe, but effectively very behind. Middle East looks good for him. Sorry, go ahead.
Do you event arms race here?
Under Purge, what are we going to do with the 2 ops that's better than 3 VPs?
Right?
I think I trigger it. Right?
It's our only harm-free 2-op, so I don't know if there's anything pressing Harib wants to do here, but I feel like those points are well worth it.
Yeah, I mean, I guess you could coup Nicaragua, but then Ryan could just take Cuba if he wants. Yeah, this is tough. I think you take your 3 VPs.
I think I probably would as well.
CRGs is really bad. I don't think you can give that. The Pope having to give the Pope and NORAD together is also really bad.
Yeah. Ugh.
Okay,
Those
gives the
Saudi.
Pope. I don't know what the rush on that was.
Yeah. Anticipating Middle East, preparing for OPEC. I'm not sure. Ryan gets a nice Africa scoring.
Now Ryan was going to get that Dom no matter what we rolled on Zaire. Yeah, certainly you don't want to eat the 6 VPs. Jarib immediately pulls 3 back with arms race, which makes sense. And then Harib's got to play 3 of these cards. So sorry, you're not playing CRG here. So you're going to play Korean War, and then you could play China and give Nixon, or you could just give away Nixon with China, save yourself the 2 VPs and give NORAD. What would you do here, Peter?
And I'm a big fan of doing China and then giving the 2 VPs with Nixon. That's how I always play it. Not that it's the right move, but it's what I tend to do.
Yeah, I'm not excited about giving NORAD here. Plus, I want a space card for next turn.
Yep.
He
goes ahead and gives NORAD. Guarantee we're going to see Canada taken here sometime before the end of this turn.
Have to think so. And this has become a very NORAD-friendly board. Angola, very flip. Okay, and there's central scoring. So Angola, very flippable. And Poland now, sitting at 1-4. South Korea, pretty soon Saudi. So this all of a sudden, which was not a very NORAD-friendly board maybe a little while ago, very much is. And Jarib is gonna save himself the VPs and give away China that way. So, folks, remember we talked about it at the top of the broadcast. This is a Champions League best of 2, and it's game 1 in the series. These players want to win, but more important than winning is your turn score. So if you lose, you want to drag the game out. If you win, you want to go for the kill. Jarib probably feel it. Maybe that is an influence here. Jarib does not want to give up those 2 VPs. Maybe he's already thinking about war games, even though it's only turn 5, about to be turn 6. Maybe he felt like he didn't have a great use of 3 ops, and 1 op was going to be almost as good. I don't know. What do you think? What do you think about that play, Peter?
I think that makes sense. Yeah, I hadn't considered that, but thinking about it as the Champions League match and wanting to make the score as close as possible, even if you lose, makes a big difference here. So I would have played that a little differently, but we'll see what happens with NORAD. That was my biggest concern, I think.
Yep. Now Salt is around. We could Salt for Quagmire. Obviously, salting for Junta or Brush would be nice too. But Jarib is IP War also another potentially crucial card drawn by Ryan and used for ops. IP War really could alter the balance of power in Asia. Now that's likely to go.
Well, he already has both of those.
Sorry, what I meant is Jarib. If Jarib had gotten it and won the war, that would have altered the balance of power in Asia. But what I was kind of space Che makes sense. NORAD doesn't. I would like to see. So we could have seen 1 Canada there with Che. We also could have seen 1 Philippines, which would mean that NORAD would give Ryan domination in Asia. But he didn't want to give up Che, which would be Canada. Yeah, he didn't take Canada because he didn't want to give up Che. That would have given up a coup in Nicaragua and Zimbabwe. I don't know how bad that would have been with Cuba and Zaire already spoken for. I might have been willing to give that up to go 1 Canada, 1 Philippines, 1 somewhere else. And then if DEF CON isn't lowered in the headline, NORAD gives you Asia Dom. I don't know. How bad was Che there?
I feel like it was worth taking Canada, but again, I'm not the pro here. But that would have been my impulse to take Canada and get that NORAD op. That's probably going to stick around for a little while. I'm curious here with Jarib having peak. Missile Envy could get Muslim and could give him a presenceless Middle East here.
Yeah. So
you see what happens with his voice.
Yeah, and so VOA, this is going to be an annoying VOA. OPEC right now is 3, but it's your only good card here. My goodness, this hand is terrible. The only good thing about this hand is it has 2 favorable scorings in it, but those scorings might get a little less favorable with this voice. What would you do with this voice if you were Ryan?
It depends what he's giving. If he has Muslim, then I might take out of. I'm just impulse. Maybe take out of Egypt and Libya here, so we can get back in. He doesn't know that Jarib has Middle East scoring. Gosh, maybe take out of Southeast. Maybe I don't know. I think I'd probably attack Middle East though.
So chances are decent that Ryan has Asia. That's the only scoring card unaccounted for.
That's true. He could also go for Thailand and North Korea.
Yeah, North Korea. No, never mind. Yeah, North Korea and Thailand is not enough. Never mind. I mentioned Philippines. I was wrong, folks. I was doing my math wrong, I think. Because Jarib has 6 countries to just 4 for Ryan. So he'd have to take out of 3 countries in Asia to have Asia Dom here. And Ryan also will only be able to play 2 ops on AR1. He can't score Asia on AR1. Ryan thinking hard about this play, maybe worried about having to give up Muslims. Okay.
For Southeast, and he does get domination here. However, now Jarib could just repair since We Will Bury You is evented.
Yeah. Now, Ryan, the problem is Jarib doesn't have a great card to repair with.
Yeah.
Right, independent reds is annoying here. I guess you're going to use it though. You're clearly you can't space it. You're not going to hold. I think you're going to try and hold defectors. You might even stomach CRGs once Southeast Asia scored. I think this is just independent reds to take those two countries back. Right. I think that's it.
Yeah. Yeah.
You're not
Want to event
excited about it.
OPEC.
Yeah.
Like to hold defectors. Yeah, there's not much go. I mean, we're in trouble here. I mean, get some bad low op cards.
Yeah, and you might see Romanian invented. Okay, realignment of Angola makes sense. Oh, gets him out in
Oh,
one. Wonder if this will be South Africa next. Yeah, doesn't that one doesn't go, but okay. Jarib picks up his 3 VPs from We Will Bury You, who picks up 4 more in Southeast Asia. Much needed VPs there. He's got Middle East Dom as well. Sadat is in the discard, so he's got to feel pretty good about getting this Dom off. ABM unlikely to be used in the Middle East, I would think, if Ryan has it.
all right.
Yeah, that's
Looks like
an
Ryan
issue.
might have Asia.
Yeah.
We can't fix that.
So what do you like that? I don't know.
No,
I kind of
I
like
don't like that.
I kind of like my 3 VPs.
Yeah.
We're not going to win this. I don't think we're going to win that war in North Korea. We have no follow up to it. We don't have any follow up ops to that. I think I like taking my 3 VPs with Middle East scoring. I like taking my 3 VPs with OPEC, and just kind of moving on here.
Yeah. Not much we can do with this hand, other than score what we have.
Ryan, so we've seen cultural. So Ryan didn't just play China because he has cultural, but I suspect Ryan wouldn't do that jam if he. Yeah, so he's got a 4-op follow up.
Now what do we do?
So interestingly, Ryan could have. Not saying he should have, but now Jarib with only 4 countries in Asia, he could have gone 3 North Korea, 1 Indonesia, which would have given him Dom.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I think I like that better. But now
he has the app, so apparently just gonna do that anyway.
Yeah.
And take it.
Okay. So no need to do that. Well, when you have 3 4-ops in hand, you don't really need to worry.
At least 3. We still haven't seen ABM.
Yep. Yeah, Jarib not pleased about it. What do you think of Ryan's decision to give We Will Bury You instead of Flower Power?
Yeah, that's a good question because Via it
allowed
him to fix it allowed Harib to fix right away. And he had Asia, okay.
Maybe you know what the other thing is, Jarib probably would have just let Ryan coup. And what's Ryan cooing? Is he cooing Egypt? Is he cooing Argentina getting realigned immediately? Maybe Ryan just had no real interest in cooing, so he was happy to see DEFCON lowered.
Yeah, could be. This has seemed to me like a pretty blue board for several turns now, yet it's a close score.
Yeah. Yep. Okay, Alliance event. That's a nice 5 VPs. Jarib doesn't hold defectors. Normally, I like to hold defectors, but it makes no sense here because we have headline peak. So defectors is a useless card and fine to put back in the deck. And oh boy, a lot of good, a lot of bad, as I like to say here.
Yeah, this green sales is a bit frustrating.
Yeah.
We have Junta and ABM.
Junta, ABM, a Quagmire redraw is fantastic. But an active kitchen, OAS, grain to go with the held over CRG is not great. Now, obviously, getting grain is probably preferable to our opponent getting it because we desperately must have a coup in Africa. Now, Harib right now controlled in Africa, controlled in Central America, dominated in Asia, and down battlegrounds in Europe. Ryan, Harib's only good region is the Middle East, and he's down 7 VPs on the board. So Harib, and now at this point, Peter, in a normal game, I would probably be advising Harib to get aggressive, play to your outs. Speaking of outs, gunman. Does Ryan have it?
I believe he does have it. Does he also have Salt and Muslim?
Yes, I think he does have salt as yes. Okay, so he can use salt to get out of gunman. But what I was trying to say was, if I were Harib, this is the time when I would be thinking about aggressively playing to my out, seeing okay, what's my most likely path to victory, and whatever. If he has it, he has it. But this is a Champions League game. Harib wants to win, but if he's not going to win, he wants to survive as long as possible. So you actually might see the opposite. You might see Ryan begin to play aggressively, and you might see Harib just try and keep the game going and tread water a little bit. We'll see how this unfolds in the late war.
Harib manages to get a Dom of his own and stop Ryan's control in Central America, all in a headline in an AR.
Yeah.
And he doesn't event ABM. Wow.
Okay. Wow. So does not coup into Africa with ABM. He stops control in Central, gets Dom in the Middle East, gets Dom in South America. So Junta did a lot of heavy lifting here. Now, I think it seems like Harib is just saying, well, we're just going to hope Africa does not come back.
It also seems this might be what Harib's thinking. I'm wondering if he's getting his best cards out of the way now, ABM, because he wants to event Grain when Ryan raises DEFCON with Salt. Get it out of his hand. And then he's going to have a bunch of garbage stuff around.
Yeah.
I probably would have cooed in Africa with ABM, but I understand why he's playing it quickly, if that's his thinking.
Yeah, that makes sense. Does Ryan... Okay. Ooh, you Surrey. That's annoying. Does Ryan have Omid in his hand?
I think he might. I don't remember seeing that one.
Anyway, it doesn't really matter. There was a reshuffle, so anything that goes... It's not like you want to get the good cards into the reshuffle and hold the bad ones out, so never mind. But okay.
Ryan also knows that Harib has grain sales, I believe. Or didn't we made it? I think we saw grain sales.
Did we?
Maybe. Well, regardless, this is a chance to drop it, and he's getting ABM.
Yeah, so got a quag here. Get that out.
Make him put ABM in the trap. Okay, we knew about that too.
Okay, that's exactly what he wanted to pick up, I think. Yeah, and that makes sense. Harib wanted to, if Ryan had failed, he could have gotten 2 coups and got him to hold lone gunman. Okay, and he'll get another coup in Africa. 0 op coup, and he'll miss on that one. Yeah, Harib now.
All right.
So CRG's now is not that bad. It was really bad a couple of turns ago. Now it's not that bad, although it can still be used to set up realigns in Zaire. You got to take back those South American countries, and then you got to stomach the 2 for kitchen, which could be very, very important.
Yeah, definitely. I might have gone Chile there just to make, realign in Argentina, but I'm sure Harib knows what he's doing.
Yeah, so we saw Ryan's hand. I didn't do a good job of remembering exactly what was in there. We're going to find out very soon. We know he has ABM. I think he'll hold on to ABM.
I think I remember Portuguese?
Yeah, yeah. We haven't seen Portuguese.
Willie, maybe?
Yeah, and South African.
Or so.
So there goes South African. And now this will certainly go one Angola. I wonder if it goes one Cameroon, one Zimbabwe as well. We'll see. No. No. No Cameroon. He does go Zimbabwe and goes Thailand. Although I don't think Ryan's going to be interested in giving up China, particularly with the Ortega situation that we could have.
Yeah, it's very true.
Fidel was triggered, so Fidel is not going to bail Harib out in Central America, nor is it going to bail Ryan out of Ortega. Oh, he does use ABM, and he coups Zaire. Okay, hits the roll. Okay, well, Harib
Okay.
not pleased to see Ortega, but probably very pleased to see Aldrich. And so Aldrich should ensure that Harib, at the very least, survives another turn.
Five-year plan is not bad with this hand. Don't have any other DEFCON cards.
Terrorism
Right.
annoying. So yeah, this has to be. Yeah, gotta get
All right.
war games right. There's,
Yeah, I would think.
but yeah, you're gonna have a Star Wars, but Ryan's not gonna.
It's not active.
Yeah, it's not active and not going to be active.
Got to keep in mind he has Sokovs because we also have Iron Lady here.
Yeah, I wonder if Iron Lady's a great candidate to go to space here.
True, yeah. Normally I like to play it, but definitely not in this case, and when there's 3 points on the line.
So Terror could be big here. Just hits AI War, pretty innocuous. I think this is just a coup of Nigeria, isn't it?
I would think so.
Just take a nice 2-op coup with Nigeria. Sadat is not that big a deal. But yeah, Iron Lady, especially with Sokovs in Ryan's hand, is a great candidate for space. You don't want to be okay. That's good enough. Goes for Zaire and not.
Yeah, could get realigned.
Very surprised at that. I would have rather seen Nigeria, I think.
Yeah. I think he knows that Ryan has Portuguese, but I don't know. Maybe he won't realign for that reason, but I don't know. I still think Nigeria is probably better.
Yeah, I'm fine with a one-op realign. Okay, and it misses. Now you've
Now
got to
you,
get you got to get out of there.
yeah. Interesting. Curious as to what Harib was thinking for that coup.
Okay, there goes Star Wars. So the discard pile not relevant any longer. So we will not see a War Games ending. We will not see a DEF CON ending, at least on the U.S. side, with We Will Bury You, excuse me, with Gunman, We Will Bury You, and Ortega all gone. So this game likely looks headed to final, but 7 in Asia and 6 in Africa for Ryan could change that. Why did he score Central like that?
Because he has to play all his cards.
Oh, that's right. He doesn't. That's right. He doesn't want to miss an AR. That's right. Of course. Yes. Yes, that makes perfect
There's
sense.
Sokovs. Now we could play Iron Lady, but I like your idea of spacing it because it could be a 4-point swing.
Yeah, 3 VPs could be very valuable here. Even with War Games gone, 3 VPs could be very valuable here.
But we might end up using it in North Korea, depending on what Ryan plays here.
Yeah.
I think he still has Portuguese and Willie, maybe? Or did we see Willie?
I don't think so. So yeah. Okay, I know you're right.
There it is.
There's Willie. Okay, he overprotected because of Willie. Okay, and there we go. We're gonna see 3 more. Overprotect your Asian battlegrounds, kids.
Yeah.
I didn't do a very good job registering what was in Ryan's hand. We knew we had Sock Govs. We knew we had Star Wars War Games, and Portuguese, which he's been holding for a while.
He spaced something, but I can't remember what he spaced.
Oh, he's gonna use China.
Okay, interesting.
Okay, so
And
Harib,
overprotect.
yeah, and he's gonna overprotect there. So Harib probably very happy to see China. Means he's not gonna lose by DEF CON. Almost certainly.
Yeah.
And now I wonder if this
Green
5-year plan is what? Is it just an Africa jam? Is just an Algeria jam? I mean, with Portuguese in Ryan's hand.
That's too much. I could, yeah.
Okay. One Burma doesn't do anything.
It threatens India. He would get Dom if he. I guess he has to take a couple more non-battlegrounds first, and Ryan's got Malaysia and Philippines with a head start.
He's not going to do anything on country count.
Oh, I think we knew about that one too.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Marine barracks in Portuguese. I would have rather seen like something like an Algeria jam, right? Because
Probably.
something a little more aggressive. Oh boy, tear down and Cal here in Harib's hand, and Asia. So this is a problematic hand for Harib.
Yes, it is.
One thing it does have is a lot of ops. Shuttle could be a problem for him too. Harib, remember, War Games is gone, so Harib wants to make sure he doesn't lose by DEF CON. But Grain and 5-year plan are both Grain, 5-year plan, terrorism both gone. So he's not going to lose by DEF CON this turn. He doesn't, but he wants to make sure that he's not going to lose and by having his opponent get to 20.
What do you headline here too? Cuban?
No, because you're going to play. I think you're going to play. Are you going to play Cal for ops?
Probably. Yeah, I mean, I'm thinking you'd jam India with Cal, but still, what do you headline?
Yeah. I think you jam. I like jamming India with Cal, but that means you can't headline Cuban. So you got to headline something else.
Can't headline Shuttle either.
Yeah, I guess are going to headline Reagan bombs because it's the smallest ops card in your hand. Hand over the 1VP, and then start jamming India.
And you don't even want to give Evil Empire here because Flower Power is active.
Yeah,
and that's one way to get points back.
Harib desperate here to flip a battleground, but he's got the ops to do it.
With this solidarity too, he's very fortunate that he drew Teardown.
Yeah. And Chernobyl. So those should both be gone harmlessly by the end of this turn. Yeah, I don't know. I think this I think it's just a Reagan bombs headline, a Cal jam, and a teardown space.
I would think so.
Or you could give up the idea of jamming with Cal. You could just space Cal, hold teardown. Man.
It's just a lot of bad options here. Wow, he's going with the Cuban. Okay.
So
you can't.
You got to just take it back.
Okay.
But boy, now you really don't have much of a follow-up. For you're gonna jam, you could jam India with China, but if Ryan fixes it, you can't do anything with Shuttle, Cal, tear down. You don't want to give an early Kennedy or early Chernobyl. Like you have almost no follow-up to an India jam. Whereas if you've done it with Cal, maybe you win an ops war there. I don't know. This is hard.
He can't even flip Indonesia. He doesn't have any access. That would be a way of stopping Dom as well, just kind of catching up on those non-battlegrounds.
Yeah.
But he's far behind.
So Harib does pick up a much-needed 3VP with that space of teardown. Harib just looking to survive.
Is missile envy around?
No, I believe Harib used it in the late war, didn't he?
I
Or
don't
didn't he?
remember. Oh, wait, I think he did maybe turn
Against
7.
VOA? Or maybe that was turn 6.
We will bury you with it. Can't remember
Yeah,
if that's
that's
6 or
right.
7.
That wasn't turn 6. Sorry, that was turn 6. So I think, yes, I think it is around.
So maybe that's part
Yes,
of the reason he's
it is.
holding on to Cal here.
Yep, it is. It is around. Okay, Harib seems to be. I, I suspect he is resigned to his fate in Asia, but he's just not going to score it until as late as possible.
Surprised Ryan is not taking Europe or Africa Dom with both of those scoring cards unseen.
Yeah, that is surprising. Ryan hasn't had Europe Tom since that Suez play.
And it takes one op here.
Right, one op will do it.
One op in both Africa and Europe.
So Ryan might not want to take Saharan states because Oku then sets up Nigeria realigns. But okay. Oh, and there's a war card. So no flower power VPs for Harib, but he does get the war VPs.
Ooh.
Okay, and there we see our jam.
Maybe he's going to use Kennedy. And Ryan did take European Dom.
Yeah, big roll on the war. It's 2 VPs and makes South Korea non-jammable.
Ryan does need a coup. I imagine it's going to be in Zimbabwe to get that domination. But right now, he wants to keep India if he can.
Or at least keep. Oh, he has to score the Middle East. Oh, this is a very early Chernobyl, but it makes sense.
I think it's going to work out for him. And now, Shuttle's going to be free too, which is really nice.
Yep. So you're going to score Asia on AR6. Ryan has demonstrated he does not have a guilt-free 4-op. Okay, so good on Harib. He gets out of Asia Dom. And then on AR7, are you giving Kennedy here and holding? I think you just give Kennedy, right?
Yeah.
Because you don't want to give it turn 10.
Yeah, you can give Shuttle turn 10. So yeah, I think that makes sense. Oh, what?
Wow. Okay, I didn't even have to think about it. I think I would have given Kennedy because I really wouldn't want to give Kennedy turn 10 and allow Ryan to fish for VOA. And we're holding Cal as well. Okay, Ryan.
Also, kind of interesting to me that Ryan put Chernobyl into Asia when it was already overprotected, and Europe might have been a better option.
Yeah, Europe. Yeah, Europe definitely would have been better. Okay, here we are, turn 10, and Harib looking at the discard pile, seeing what's there. This is not a good hand.
No. Could stop Africa Dom with decall, though.
Yep.
Hostage crisis doesn't do much for you. That's not good. Our man doesn't do a whole lot with this being turn 10.
Okay, so Harib saying, thinking about trying to trap Ryan into headlining Duck. But yeah, I think that is a little wild. Again, yes, yeah, I don't know. I don't. Yuck.
Oh, that is rough.
Yuck. Okay. Well, Cal now can still get spaced, but oh. Okay. So this is certainly a game that Harib is not going to win, right? Ryan's up 3, and although, well, is it close? Middle East, Ryan is assuming it's going to get, it will stop Middle East Dom. So Middle East will be even. Asia will be even. Africa, Ryan should have Dom, right? But Harib's going to get a coup here.
I think it depends where Europe and Africa scorings are. That's going to make a big difference
Yeah.
because, as you said, Asia and Middle East are even. The shuttle doesn't really count for those.
Yeah. If neither scoring comes, and if Ryan has South America especially, I think Harib could take this one.
Means we have to make Kennedy be our hold card here for sure.
Yeah, so we're gonna space Cal, hold Kennedy, or we could give Cal here if we really want the three
Yeah.
ops and we don't want a coup. But I think I would
Yeah, that's
rather
true.
just
That
coup. I don't know.
could really upset the order in Africa if he uses Cal here.
But because he's
And sure
pursed,
that
he
Ryan.
can't threaten a flip. So you could take a one op
Could
coup.
take.
Special's inactive, so you could take a one op coup of Angola,
Yeah.
or you could take a Cal flip of Algeria, but that costs you 2 VPs. Also, potentially frees up a missile envy. Had a missile envy play from Ryan.
Interesting.
I don't know about that. You give up the 2 VPs. You do take Algeria. It's the sure thing. Harib hates rolling dice, but boy, we also need mill ops.
Yeah.
Wouldn't you rather just take a 2 op coup of Angola? Um, Obviously, a 1 is a nightmare. Even a 2 is not good. Then you get your mill ops, but I guess then you have to spend an AR spacing Cal, which gets you nothing whether you hit or miss. Just
Right.
maximize your ops. AWACS is an empty AR. Okay, he did have Duck.
Oh. Yeah.
Hmm.
This on that, but special still free.
Yeah, so Ryan needs to spend 2 in West Germany and then 2 more. No, just 1 more, rather, to get Dom. So he's got to spend 3 ops in Europe to get Dom. Oh my goodness, back to back 1s for Harib.
Ryan also needs a coup here at some point.
Yeah, 4 countries for Ryan and 5 for Harib in Africa. So a coup of Saharan does flip Dom. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah. Harib just wants to annoy him. Oh, that's not the
Oh,
scoring.
that's big.
Yeah,
That is
that's
big.
yeah. That's not the scoring Ryan wanted to have.
Ryan has no dominations on the board right now because Asia doesn't count.
Yeah, and Ryan has to
And
even up the
the
Middle
score is
East.
tied. It has to yeah. Middle East needs a coup, needs to get Europe scoring. Man, oh man. Ryan's gonna get AWACS, I would think.
Yeah, I don't think you can allow Kennedy. Now voice is around, isn't it? Didn't we see it? Turns okay, just a one off realign. He hits the roll on Nigeria.
Gosh, that's also huge.
It means Ryan can't score, or he's got to immediately retake Nigeria, or he's going to get dominated in Africa. Boy, we were talking about Harib being way down in this game, but all those ops flipping India like that, getting his preferred scoring, flipping Zaire, and potentially flipping Algeria as well. Yeah, this Harib looking good here. Ryan needs to get. Probably doesn't need to get 2 into Nigeria because of the purge, but he's got to go 1 Nigeria, 1 Israel, 1 Portugal, presumably. Oh, he's going to use China right away.
Okay. This might indicate VOA.
Yep. And you got to poke something. Yep.
Okay.
And does Ryan have Europe? He does.
Oh, he does have it. Oh my gosh.
Yep.
Oh.
And a great play by Jarib to poke there. And so Ryan scores Europe there.
Oh.
Yeah. Oh, that is brutal. And so now Ryan so now Ryan doesn't have Dom in Europe. AWACS is just an empty AR. Right? So AWACS is an
But you
empty A is
could
an
give Kennedy here possibly if you want an AR for something else,
yeah, you could give Kennedy. Presumably Ryan would have so Ryan scored Europe there maybe because he has VOA and needs to do that AR7, so he won't discard.
He's talking like he doesn't. I mean, don't have to believe the GG I messed this game up. If he has VOA, that's
Yeah,
that's a
if he's
bluff.
got
But
VOA, he could make Harib presenceless in the Middle East. That would be a huge swing.
definitely, guess yeah. Can you afford to just have a fix, or do you need to be aggressive and play Kennedy here and risk him drawing VOA if he doesn't have it?
Yeah, I don't think you can let him dump 3 cards and try and get VOA. I like the empty AR.
He's not fixing though. What did he? Oh, He poked Japan. I see.
So you're giving
Willing to
away
give up the
Dom.
Dom here,
No, I don't like that at
possibly.
all. Giving away Dom in the Middle East to take Dom in Asia.
It's interesting though. I feel like Ryan's giving away too much about the VOA, and that is affecting the way Harib is playing here.
Yeah.
I would have been kept my cards a little closer to the chest there.
So let's do our math here. Asia is 0. Middle East, all assuming Harib. So if you just assume he fixes, if you assume Harib fixes here with it plays AWACS and fixes, Asia 0, Middle East is 0, Africa 1 blue, Central America 0, Europe 0, and South America 5 red, plus China is 6 red. So Ryan's got to find 5 VPs here. And he has Africa.
And he does have Africa. Oh man.
Well,
wow.
That's just wild.
Wow.
What an ending to that game.
Man, and we were talking about it in turn 9, turn 10, like just one up in Europe, one up in Africa gives Dom in both places. And he got purged and everything. Wow, that's quite a solid showing from Harib's part there to avoid both dominations while purged.
Yeah, that was pretty wild, and that he hitting that Nigeria roll so huge.
Yep.
Yep, and he was talking about that as if you don't say GG, he might have triggered Kennedy, because if I think our math was if you just played the AWACS and he fixed it, Middle East, Asia, Central, Europe, all even. The VP track was also even, and then Africa was +1 US, China was +1 red, so those cancel, and then South America, so it would have been 5. So if Ryan had just a garden variety, for a garden variety 3 op, I mean even garden variety 1 op, he takes Europe and it's a tie, right? He takes West Germany back.
Ryan also missed out on Millops there, didn't he?
Oh yeah, I wasn't even thinking about that.
Get a coup in Saharan earlier, and you might get that Africa off, and you get your Millops at the same time. But didn't manage to get around to it.
That is true.
He had 3 scorings though. I mean, that's the downside of this turn 10 hand for Ryan. He got to purge Harib, but maybe headline one of those scorings. Is that? I don't know. I guess he didn't have Dom in either.
As you said, he didn't have Dom in Europe. He didn't retake it. Um, he didn't retake the Dom, so he couldn't headline it.
Yeah, I mean, but even South America maybe. I don't know. I mean, he was just like what 3 of his last 4 ARs were scoring cards.
Yeah,
That really leaves you hamstrung.
that was brutal for Ryan. Yeah, you never like to see that turn 10 purge. You feel like, come on, I'm screwed. But the immediate AR6 scoring of Europe to me suggested either Africa on AR7 or VOA on AR7.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
like
Yeah.
to me, I don't know. I would have if Ryan had not said GG. We're beating it to death
Right.
here. If Ryan had not said GG, my assumption would have been, okay, I scored Europe on AR6 because I'm going to use VOA on AR7.
Yeah, and then he might have gotten an astronaut, and then might have actually picked up VOA, which could have been huge. Would have been huge.
Yeah, even just picking up a 4-op, um, which lets you even just heck, even a 2-op. Pick up if Harib had triggered astronaut, Ryan picks up a 2-op. You just or forget picking up anything. He probably has a 2-op. You just had to play Africa. You just take 1 West Germany and 1 fixed Japan, and you have this game.
And Ryan had at that point he had 3 cards, right? Because he has
Yep.
2 now. He could have dumped all 3 cards. There's no scorings around. Get something, something to help turn his luck here at the end.
Yeah.
But wow,
That was pretty wild.
we
I'm glad we got to see it. This was a really interesting game, um, and between a couple of great players, we had some plays we disagreed with. Also had some interesting plays that I think neither of us saw. So it was great to do this one. And I'm glad we got to do this one on Action Round Zero. Hope you guys enjoyed it as well. But Peter, I guess that's enough of us yapping here. Any final thoughts before we wrap up?
I just hope one of them sends us game 2 so we can do this again. I'm
Yep.
really curious to see how the second part turns out.
Yes. Oh, Ryan saying I'm going to skip the Team USA game. Yeah, Ryan missed our Team USA game on Monday. It was a disaster. It did not go well. No offense, Ryan. I don't think it would have gone all that much better if you'd been here. But anyway, that's going to do it for our coverage of Twilight Struggle today. Thank you to Peter for joining me on commentary. Thank you also to our executive producer, Anton Scott. Thank you to our players for sending over the video. And thanks most of all to you for listening. Hope you enjoyed this game as much as we enjoyed bringing it home to you. But until next time, for Peter Frantz and Anton Scott, this is Justin Abramson signing off. That was fun, but now it's done.
I heard a young father, a very prominent young man in the entertainment world, addressing a tremendous gathering in California. It was during the time of the Cold War, and communism and our own way of life were very much on people's minds, and he was speaking to that subject. And suddenly, though, I heard him say, "I love my little girls more than anything," and I said to myself, "Oh no, you don't say that." But I had underestimated him. He went on, "I would rather see my little girls die now, still believing in God, than have them grow up under communism and one day die no longer believing in God." And thereby remove yourself from the struggle between right and wrong.